Today in the Fresh Brewing Club, my 300-mile review of the Nike Invincible 3. Welcome to the Fresh Brewing Club. Today's video, I am talking Nike Invincible 3. This is probably going to be my last review of this here shoe. I have made several videos about this, but this is kind of the end-all be-all video. I have now run 300 miles, actually like 316 to be specific, in this shoe, and I just want to give my final thoughts and talk about three topics. One, and most importantly, the durability. Two, the most controversial part of this shoe. And three, after 300 miles, is this shoe a good bargain? So let's dive into it. So let's talk durability. So when I buy my shoes, I have every intention of at least trying to run 300 miles in them. That's kind of like my dividing line, my Mendoza line, if you will, of whether a shoe is durable or whether a shoe is not so durable. This shoe passed with flying colors. This is one of the most, if not the single most durable shoe I have ever run in. So as a heel striker, which means I land sort of on my heel first, the first thing that I notice when it comes to like wear and tear on most of my running shoes is damage in the heel area, right? I'm landing on it, I'm kind of scraping along the sidewalk on that part of the shoe. And with the Invincible 3s, I have yet to break through that outsole rubber and get to the midsole foam, which once I've done that in the Invincible 1s and 2s, that's when the shoes really start to disintegrate, because you get to this very soft ZoomX foam and it just shreds really quickly. And then the shoes start to soak up water and they fall apart very quickly after that. After 300 miles, have yet to get to that ZoomX foam. There is still plenty of rubber between the ground and the foam. So the number one thing that I wear down is absolutely that outsole rubber, and this has passed with flying colors. The next thing that I pay attention to when it comes to wear and tear is the actual midsole foam. That's kind of what the Nike Invincibles are all about. They have a ton of that ZoomX foam. So if there's an issue with it, if it cracks, if it rips, if it tears, that's kind of the whole shoe. And I have not noticed any major damage. Of course, there's some like streaks that are sort of wrinkles and like, you know, where I flex and bend the shoe a little bit, but really there's no like structural damage to this midsole foam, which is great. I think they made it a little more rigid than the previous version. If you watch my earlier reviews of the shoe where I talk more about what it's like to run in this, I noted that the ZoomX foam feels firmer. It feels more rigid. And I think that helps to make the shoe last a little bit longer. They're not quite as fun to run in my opinion, as the Invincible 1 and 2s, but that firm foam is definitely going to help them last much longer than the Invincible 1 and 2s. And then finally, the upper. It's this sort of like, they say it's Flyknit, but it's kind of like a tighter weave, waxy kind of feel. And I think that also contributes to a lot of the durability I've seen. So when I stride, sometimes I'll kick my ankle. You can kind of see a darker portion there where my foot has come in contact with that collar area, and it just slides right off. Other shoes, that starts to get like beat up. If it's like more of a fabric material, it'll just shred right through and the stuffing will start to come out. No damage there other than just like some dirt marks, basically. The pull tab held together, shoelaces held together, like everything pretty much stayed intact other than the shoe just getting a little bit dirty. So overall, durability, 10 out of 10. I'm not doing like a rating system, but if I was doing a rating system, this is absolutely a 10 out of 10, which is great to hear, because when I buy a pair of shoes, I want to run in them for a long time. I want to get every single dollar I spend on these shoes out of these shoes, and that is what has happened so far. So durability, incredible. One of the most durable shoes I've ever run in. Honestly, probably the most durable shoe I've ever run in. Now, the one thing I will say that is probably starting to change over time is the foam. It doesn't quite have the bounce that it did before. I don't think this shoe is super bouncy anyway, especially compared to the Invincible 1 and 2s, but it's probably getting a little bit more compact than it was when I first ran in it. It feels like it's kind of slapping the ground a little bit more as opposed to like bouncing and rolling through it, but nothing like major. This shoe, after 316 miles, is actually more comfortable, in my opinion, than the Nimbus 25 after 50 miles. Of course, that is a matter of personal preference. But moving on, the controversial part of the shoe, I've talked about this in every single video I've made. The number one complaint I've gotten, question I've gotten, complaint I've seen online about this shoe is, what about the heel slip? Oh, this is the worst shoe in the entire world. I can't believe that Nike made this horrible shoe because of the heel slip. I put this on and it slipped so bad that the shoe flew off my foot and landed in the Pacific Ocean, and I live on the East Coast. These are things that people were saying in my comments, And I'm going to be honest with you, the first run I went on, I noticed the heel slip. I tied a runner's knot and it fixed the problem. That was it. No issue for me. So if that's your concern, if you see those reviews, just tie a runner's knot. There's many videos online about how to do that. I should make one myself because I've been talking about a runner's knot in relation to this shoe so much. It's not really an issue. Again, some people do have certain preferences and certain foot shapes where that might be an issue. So it's not like a complete hard and fast rule. But in my experience, 316 miles in this shoe, no issues with the heel slip. So anyway, moving on. Is this shoe a good value? Yes. So it is a pretty expensive shoe, so I would expect this to get 300 miles at least. And that's exactly what happened. Like I said, it's in great shape. It can do a lot of different runs. So it's technically a max cushion shoe. So it can do the slow runs, but I think due to the firmness and kind of the snappiness of this shoe, you can take it on a little bit of faster runs. It's definitely more versatile than the previous two versions of the Invincibles, although it's a little less cushioned and I dare say a little less fun, which is why I've only bought one pair of these and it's taken me like 9 months to run 300 miles in these. It's still a good shoe. It's a different shoe than the original Invincible 1 and 2s, but look, it's not a bad shoe at all. If you're looking for something that you can buy that is going to be able to do multiple different types of workouts and last you a long time, I think this is a great option. And we are now at the point in the release cycle of this shoe where if you go on StockX, you can find some fantastic deals, under retail deals for this shoe. Definitely check these out. These were true to size for me, so I'm a size 10. I got a size 10. They fit perfectly. So overall, like I said, it's a good shoe. Did I like it as much as the Invincible 1 and 2s? Not quite, but I kind of like those for different reasons than I like these. I like the durability. I like the flexibility of being able to do different types of runs. They're not as fun on slow runs, I would say, but they can definitely get the job done. So that should cover everything I wanted to talk about in this video. Hopefully, if you're thinking about getting this shoe or just have questions about this shoe, this can help answer some of those. So if you have any additional questions that I didn't talk about, feel free to leave a comment below. I'm happy to answer anything, but that should wrap up my journey reviewing the Nike Invincible 3. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you soon.